If you dream of a 6-figure business where you only have to work 4 hours a day from the coffee shop, then please hear me out, because everybody wants this, but 99% of people are never going to get it simply because they do not know what to optimize for first. If you don't know what to optimize for, then you're going to hit a dead end and have to start your business over completely from scratch. So in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week, he tells a story that shook me to the core. And that story changed me, and it helped me to build a coaching business where I work 4 hours a day from the coffee shop, doing work that I love and earning 6 figures. And the story that I'm going to tell is paraphrased and modified a bit, but here it goes. So in the story, there's this CEO named Jim. And Jim makes $500,000 per year. He works 12-hour days. He travels 3 weeks out of every month. And he has a huge house. He drives a BMW. He doesn't love what he does, but he doesn't hate it either. He really just followed the path he thought he was supposed to. Most of his friends would consider Jim to be a massive success. Now, there's another guy named Chris who makes $60,000 per year. He works 4 hours per day, sitting at a coffee shop by the beach. He does work that he loves. He is an online writer, and he has a coaching program that helps other people do the same. He just lives in a small apartment, and he drives a used Toyota. Chris's friends wouldn't necessarily label him as successful, and half of them don't really understand what he even does. So when we compare the lives of Jim and Chris, Jim has a lot more money, but his lifestyle output is shit. Chris, on the other hand, has a lot less money, but his lifestyle output is awesome. Now, in a perfect world, we would combine the two, right? We'd be making $500K working 4 hours a day from the coffee shop doing what we love. We'd have the money of Jim and the life of Chris. Now, that is possible, but in order to figure out how to do that, we need to first talk about what not to do. And I think this is well illustrated in the example of someone who decides to become an attorney. So a lot of people want to become an attorney because you can make a ton of money, you can have power, and you can have respect. But then after they go through law school and they get the job, they find that they're spending a bunch of time sitting in courtrooms, they're doing loads of paperwork, they've got pressure from million-dollar lawsuits, and they're dealing with difficult clients. So they got the income part right, but they never stopped to consider the lifestyle output of that career. Now, if they change jobs, they're going to have to hit the reset button on their income and start all over. This is the risk of having just income being your goal, is you'll do just about anything it takes to get you there. But if you don't like what you're doing in the end, you basically have to tear the whole thing down and start from scratch. Now let's pretend that you start with a different goal. You want a high lifestyle output. That's your number one goal. So you decide to start a business online where you can create content and courses and do coaching. And you like this idea because you see how it would allow you to work whenever you want, wherever you want, with whomever you want, and doing whatever you want. Now that sounds like a dream, right? So you start with that utopian vision, but then you have to work backwards from there. Because if you just do whatever you want, then you won't actually make any money. You have to organize your efforts into a real business. And as soon as you start doing that, you're going to have to start doing things that you don't want to do. So there is going to be some sacrifice on your ideal lifestyle in order to get the desired income. When I first started coaching, I didn't have the lifestyle I have now, where I worked 4 hours a day from the coffee shop, creating and doing what I love. My days were spent like cold prospecting on social media, doing a bunch of strategy calls on Zoom, and then following up with those people, writing proposals, and doing a bunch of coaching calls every single week. And sometimes I would wake up and I look at my calendar and see nothing but calls. I'd be like, shit, like I just wasn't that excited about that day. I would have rather sat at the coffee shop just writing a book and building a YouTube channel and creating, but I couldn't only do that because it didn't financially make sense. I had to do some things to make money now. But I knew that the business model I had chosen of being an online coach had the ability to eventually deliver on the lifestyle that I wanted and this is key. An attorney cannot have the work 4 hours a day from the coffee shop lifestyle. The model just doesn't work. But if you want to be an online creator or a coach or a consultant, it absolutely can give you that lifestyle, but it will not deliver it right away. This is what nobody wants to tell you. You're going to have to do some shit that you don't like to get the business off the ground and to get it running. You're going to have to reach out to everyone you know, family, friends, tell them you're in business, tell them what you do, like do some free coaching, do some like work for free to help somebody build their website or write their email sequence for them, like beg for some testimonials in exchange for free work. This is what the story of a lot of these online coaches and creators actually looks like in the beginning. You see the grand like picture of things now where they have 1 million YouTube subs and they can post a link to their course and make 10K in a day, but it doesn't actually start out that way. But what I did is, even when I was in the midst of all that client work and sales calls and the stuff that I didn't like, I always reserved the first hour or two of every day for me to do stuff that I knew would give me leverage in the long run. So I built a podcast. I started a YouTube channel. I wrote and published 2 books. Now, my book, Nail Your Niche, brings me clients every single month without me having to do anything, because I carved out space to actually build those projects that were going to ultimately move me closer to the lifestyle that I wanted within the coaching business model. So let's bring this all together into 3 crisp action steps you can take today. And we're going to assume that you've already chosen a business model that has the ability to deliver on the lifestyle you want. Okay, number 1 is to define the end goal. What does a perfect work day look like for you? This is an exercise I have many of my clients do, and they always love it. Like, if money was no object and you were just doing this work out of pure enjoyment and passion, like what would you do? Would you create videos? Would you write? Would you coach people? Like, decide what it actually would look like on a day-to-day basis. If you could watch a movie of you living out your perfect work day, that is the absolute best thing to have, because then you have a clear vision for what it is you're trying to build. Number 2 is you have to define your business structure. So when you see that vision, then you have to ask yourself, what would need to be in place in order for that to be true? What type of product would I sell? How would that product be delivered to the customer? How would the customer find and purchase that product? And how would you get leads to get eyeballs on that product in the first place? That's kind of the chain of business. You have marketing, and then sales, and then the actual delivery of the product. And what would all of that look like in order to fulfill on the vision of you having that ideal lifestyle in your business? For example, a lot of people will say, I just want to make a course and sell it. And once I sell it, I don't have to do any work because the course teaches people. And then I want to sell thousands of copies with one single social media post. Everybody would say they want that. But in order to have that, you've got to have a huge social media following and a huge email list. So if you don't have those things, but if that is your end goal, then obviously you'll need to spend some time every day working on building your social channels and building your email list. So when you know where you're trying to go, you will be able to see the work you need to do to get there. And number 3 is to pay yourself first. So this is advice in the investing world, where like when you get a paycheck, you take a chunk of it to invest before you spend any money on anything else, including bills. And this ensures that every time you're getting a paycheck, you're actually building wealth instead of just spinning your wheels and never building any wealth. Now, this is really good advice, and it also applies to the way you spend your time in your business. So when I wake up, I reserve the first 2 hours of every day for writing a book or scripting a YouTube video like this one. I do this because I know it's going to give me leverage in the long run. And then after the 2 hours is up, I'll switch gears, answer client emails, do coaching calls, and all of that type of stuff. The type of work where you're trading time for dollars, it's necessary to do, but it is not leveraged. So no matter how busy you think you are, every day, pay yourself first. Do a couple hours of deep work on projects and activities that are actually going to give you leverage and move you towards having the dream lifestyle you want in your business. If you want to get an email from me once a week on how I'm implementing all this stuff in my online business, you can join my newsletter using the link in the pinned comment. Lastly, I think you should check out this video where I talk about starting a personal brand, which is really the modern day 9-to-5 escape plan. This is the best way to quit your job. Check this out. Please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.